Hey everyone, welcome to Direct to Disaster. So last week we looked at one of the earliest gaming consoles ever created, the Magnavox Odyssey 2.
This thing's a monster!
Oh, good grief. I mean, they didn't even bother changing anything. It's freaking combat!
Do you see the handles on these games? Why are they here?
It's a joke. Yeah, I'm not a fan. But while I was making that episode, I realized that I forgot why I wanted to look at the system in the first place.
Told you!
Shut up! Anyway, remember my episode on VCR board games and how I was amazed they could build a board game around a 60-minute VHS tape? Well, it turns out there's another category similar to that. The video game board game. And no, I'm not talking about board games that have been converted to video games, nor do I mean video games that play like a board game, like Mario Party. No, what I mean is a video game that actually comes with pieces like a board game. Yes, these actually exist. Back in the wonderful world of 8 kilobytes max, games didn't have enough memory to contain an entire board game, so the creators put the action scenes on the game cartridge and left the rest of the game as a regular board game, complete with board, pieces, and an instruction book, all in a collectible case. Or if that wasn't challenging enough, you could fork over about $100 to buy an add-on that allowed chess games, which again, Atari managed to do without any expensive add-ons. As far as I know, only 3 were ever made, and all are for the Odyssey 2. I own 2 of them, Quest for the Rings and Conquest of the World. The third one is the Great Wall Street Fortune Hunt, but it's super rare, and from what I understand, it's just a stock market simulator, like Wall Street Kid. Unless you're making them for the Gecko family, I don't think anyone's going to see these games as fun. So, let's look at these games and see if this is a good idea, or if they deserve to go the way of the voice in the chess modules. Never heard of them? There's a reason. First, the Quest for the Rings, also known as every fantasy movie ever's plot. Comes with a board, a lot of tokens, and the instruction book that you need to understand what any of this means. The book's pretty lengthy as well, about 28 pages containing the backstory of the land, the monster portraits, the different classes, and of course, the game rules. So let's start at the beginning here. You are about to become a legend in your own time.
You are about to become what all men should fear.
And enter an alternate world, where dreams and nightmares come true with fire-breathing reality. I'm a little confused by that statement. Fire-breathing reality? So, no reality then? I mean, that's like saying hovering at 30,000 feet reality, or turning into a cow reality, or Good Alvin and the Chipmunks theatrical release movie reality. I mean, these aren't really things you see in reality. Special microcomputer circuitry will generate the alternate time frequencies and dimension warps necessary for finite control and monitoring of your alter presence via television, while you remain physically secure in the relative safety of your own dimension. So it's Avatar then. Or Surrogates? Does anyone remember that movie? After the intro, we have the prologue, The Crucible. The Falling Ring... Wait. If we're gonna do this, I need to get into character. Okay. The falling ring pitches end over end down the volcano's gaping maw. It's lashed by furious whips of fire from subterranean updrafts miles below. Far above, roaring kettle drums of thunder boom. Doom! 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 The mountain shudders, and dark towers crumble into slag. Unceasing bolts of lightning flash into the mouth of the volcano like the spears of avenging gods. The ring spins to a rest on a white-hot outcrop deep beneath the mountain. Its color changes from gold to red, from blue to white, to another hue not seen before on Earth. It is the final tempering, with an intensity unmatched even by the fires of elven smiths or the furnaces of the dwarf lords. The essence of the ring is freed from its cocoon of arcane metal. The earth moves. The mountain groans. Its infernal gorge spews skyward. The eruption's unleashed fury carries the essence of the ring far from the shattered mountain and covers it with a tower of protective lava. And blah blah blah, the ring I guess gains form and sentience, the lava turns into a tower, dark creatures gather some other rings, the master ring turns into the ringmaster, and you need to stop him. Okay, I'm just gonna spare you the rest and get to the game. So the game's actually meant to be played by 3 players. One's the ringmaster, and the other 2 are heroes out to stop him. The ringmaster sets up the board and all 23 castles, then he randomly places 10 rings under the castles and randomly places 6 monsters on 6 of the rings. He also puts the overlay that came with the game on the keyboard so he doesn't forget the complicated directions this game gives. Once you have that done, the players decide which port to start at and the game switches to the TV screen. Each player selects their starting class by pushing the button as the title scrolls underneath. The warrior kills monsters, or teleports them to the sides of the screen. The wizard stuns monsters for a few seconds. The phantom passes through walls, and the changeling turns invisible. Then the game finally starts. The heroes move along the path and arrive at the nearest castle. They flip over the token, and the ringmaster chooses the location on the bottom. Dungeons, crystal caverns, infernos, or shifting halls. And all I can say here is, really? The same sprites from Breakdown for all the characters? Okay, I know memory is limited, but would it have broken anything to at least make the monsters look different from the players? Instead, the only difference is the color, so the players need to remember they're pink and green and the monsters aren't. Anyway, if there's no ring token under the castle, it's just a matter of getting out. One of the heroes has to make it to the arrow without both being captured. If neither one makes it, then it starts all over again. And this is what will happen most of the time because the game is surprisingly harsh. The monsters move slightly faster than the heroes, who are already moving like freaking snails, and they can quickly surround each player in just a few seconds. And this is also where you realize that the warrior or wizard you picked might not be all they're cracked up to be. Their weapons only work side to side, so if a monster comes at you from the top or bottom, which they frequently will, you're screwed. On the other hand, the changeling and the phantom are completely unarmed, so the only way out is to run and hope your powers don't lead you directly to an enemy. The best strategy I've found is to pick a warrior or wizard for the first player and a changeling for the second, and let the first be bait while the second one runs off to grab the arrow. As long as the player controlling the changeling knows the position of the sprite and doesn't run into any monsters, they're left completely alone while the monsters wipe out the other player, allowing for the changeling to grab whatever they need. As long as somebody grabs it, it counts for both. Verily, I am the most powerful wizard in the land. No vile forces of the ringmaster would dare to toy with my magics. Ha-ha! Hey, thanks for being a distraction. I found a way out. Carry me. When there is a ring under a castle, it's the same scenario, but the players are trying to get one of the rings and fighting one of the ringmaster's monsters if they encounter one. This time, if they fail, they can choose either to try again or visit another castle to hopefully grab a different ring at the cost of a turn. Oh yeah, didn't go into those yet, did I? The players decide how many turns the game goes, with 50 being the minimum. And the instructions say that 100 turns is the best starting point for new players. Hope you didn't have anything else planned for the day. When the heroes enter a castle, it counts as 1 turn. When they're defeated and have to try again, it costs another turn. And if they choose to go to another port and start from that location, it costs a turn for each castle and port they pass. The only time it doesn't cost a turn is if the heroes collect a ring. Then they can head to the next castle for free. So the game may seem to favor the heroes and leave the ringmaster out of it, so that's why they included possessions. At any time when both heroes are on screen, the ringmaster can declare possession and steal the controller from a player. If the possessed player defeats the unpossessed, then the hourglass shoots forward 5 turns and possession continues. On the other hand, if the player defeats the ringmaster, then the hourglass goes 5 turns backwards, and the ringmaster loses a possession token. When he loses all of them, he loses the ability to possess. What makes this game really fun are all the animations they added. When you choose a location, the game doesn't just take you there, it teleports you. That is some Atari level epicness they put in, where just going to another location can be an adventure. Also, when a player is caught by a dragon, they don't just die, the dragon chomps down on them. Dang! If all the rings are collected, the heroes win. But if they run out of turns, then the ringmaster wins. And again, no you win screen. And with this being a video game, you'd expect them to have something like that. I had to make my own.
So outside of the snark, this is actually pretty well put together. Maybe it's just the game board portion that's so good, but at least it's original, and it has a lot more effort put into it than any of the other library. So let's see how the other game holds up.
Next we have Conquest of the World. So is this Risk or Katamari Damacy? The game also comes with a board, some numbered tiles, and a bag of magnetic pieces.
When I first got this system, the bag had split open and was covering everything in the box. You can't imagine how panicked I was that I spent $75 on this thing only to have a chance to have half of it erased. Who puts magnetic pieces with video game equipment?
Anyway, let's look at the instructions here. No country ever lost a war by being too strong.
No, but as superheroes have shown us, it can make the war worse.
Anyway, this is a realistic game based around the world's strengths at the time. Personally, I'd prefer the strengths as represented in Zero Killer, but we can't always get what we want. Every country is marked with a power base unit, which is calculated with a perceived power formula that the book gives. Someone smarter than me is welcome to recalculate the numbers for today's situations. So, according to the instructions, first each player picks, and then...
I seriously can't make this out. This is one of the most confusing game manuals I have ever read. It's like one of those badly translated instruction books that think that they're being simple and plain, but just give you a headache trying to read. I'm gonna need some help with this. Hey Sarge, can you take over?
Alright, troops! Since your minds have the consistency of mustard gas, it is up to me to explain the very simple mission you have been selected for. First, set up the game board. Note that every country has their own power base unit number, and how the USA is stronger than any other. What about the USSR? The USA is stronger than any other! Each player then picks their starting homeland, with the first player, of course, choosing the US of A, while the other players choose one of those other countries. Once the homeland is established, this is a good time to form alliances with surrounding countries, as long as the combined numbers do not exceed the number the homeland country represents. First rule of combat: you never let your allies think that they're stronger than you. This raises too many questions that you do not want answered. When completed, each player moves their token to the correct number on the power base record, which amounts to half the combined PBUs from all allied countries. I had originally requested that the US of A be moved to the maximum PBU, but they have yet to return my calls. Now that the boring civilian work is complete, we can get to the glorious battle. The attacking player chooses an unoccupied country, and the battle is carried out on the screen. The player chooses a tank, a plane, a tank, a sub, or a why would you choose anything besides a tank, while the other player follows suit. It's a sad day when former friends become enemies. But this is the true test of a soldier, to defeat his friend in combat. Both players have 2,500 energy units and 3 tries to either conquer or defend the country. If the attacker is defeated, then he has allowed the enemy to seize any unused energy units to use at a future date and to acquire the country as an ally. That soldier is a disgrace and is not worth the leather in his muck-covered boots. But if the attacker has won the war, then he has brought glory to his homeland. He has seized the energy left behind by the enemy, received the full capability of the conquered country, and still has time left to find and capture another country until he is finally defeated in combat. Or the player can form an alliance with another country by buying it for half its worth and getting half the power. And that player is a mama's boy who has somehow slipped the screening process. Don't be that soldier! Fight for the right! Alternatively, if the player is rich enough from the spoils of war, he can engage the enemy on his own home turf and catch him with his pants down. Combat continues as stated before, except now we've given the enemy a reason to be scared. And scared he should be, for when the attacker defeats him, the winner acquires the power originally from the loser and shows the world just what we're capable of. Do you hear that, Castro? We are coming for you! It may have taken years of red tape, but now I know you're quaking in that forced labor fake leather boot pair of yours. Once every country has been occupied by the Freedom Force of America, or the other guys, then each player has one last chance to advance their rank and win the game. The most lowly of the bunch challenges the other bottom feeder to combat, using all remaining energy units to power their forces. Each battle won moves the player's marker forward. Each battle lost moves it back. Once one player has run out of energy, the other then uses all remaining energy to move his marker as far as possible, then challenges the next higher up. Once all battles have been fought and the final power levels are realized, then America will win, for there are no alternatives. So ready your joysticks, protect the world from invasion by invading them first, and tell the enemy not to mess with your superiors.
Okay, a little more than I needed, but thanks. Okay, that's about...
And don't you dare tell me that Banana Republic is just an overpriced clothing store. Back during my tour of duty, I had visited many Banana Republics. And I'll tell you, they could have benefited from one of these so-called Banana Republics. As I walked down the streets of these lands, I couldn't even see any bananas, just the peels. And that wasn't appealing in the slightest. Soldiers tripping left and right to avoid the debris from these cursed fruits. But still we marched on to institute a new form.
That actually worked. So after playing both of these games, I can come to the conclusion that they're both actually really fun.
In my opinion, this is what the Odyssey should have put their focus on. Combining a gaming system with a board game? That's unique even for today. If they had put more focus on the aspects of the system that made it special, instead of trying to copy what everyone else was doing at the time, it might have taken off better. So as a gaming system, the Odyssey fails. But as a simulator or a component in a bigger game, I could easily see this becoming something big. I heard that there's a small homebrew community for this system, and I personally wouldn't mind if they came up with new video board games, even if they're just attempts at recreating real board games on the system. At least it'll let me know that there are people trying their hardest to make something that failed into a success. So I think I've said all I can say about the Odyssey 2. Like I said, we're probably not coming back to this system, but I will give these games credit that this showed me what it's capable of, and that we're leaving on a more positive note than the last episode. Next time we talk about a game system, it'll probably be something a little more recent. Till then, thanks for watching, and see you on the next episode of Direct to Disaster.
So is now a good time to review my game.
Wizard of Odyssey? Is the keyboard really the key to greater challenge in video games?
Of course it is. You can play strategy games like Quest for the Rings. Plan your strategy on the game board. Use the keyboard to change heroes, enemies, places. Be a wizard. Outwit fiery dragons. Take that, dragon. We wizards hate to lose. The Master Strategy series, only from Odyssey 2, where the keyboard is the key to greater challenge.
Buy Odyssey, get $82 worth of free games, including Quest for the Rings and Pickaxe Pete.
Hey everyone, just a really quick add-on to the video. It seems I overlooked a very important Odyssey 2 accessory that I also own. The reason why I didn't bring it up was because I had no idea what it is. It just looks like a generic storage tray, but since it was designed to hold an Odyssey, I figured it was important. But then came the problem of finding this thing. I had no idea what it was at first, and a quick search turned up nothing until I got the right combination of words and was led to this page. According to the Odyssey 2 homepage at the-nextlevel.com, this is an Odyssey organizer. Basically, all it is a plastic holder that holds the Odyssey 2, 12 games, and controllers. It was sold by mail order through the Odyssey Adventures magazine for $19.95 and $1 shipping, and was made by Acrylic Designs Inc., who made similar holders for Atari, ColecoVision, and Intellivision. So yeah, it's just a generic novelty accessory that holds the console. What's so special about it? Well, I didn't know either. However, I'm eBaying the system since I need the money more than I need this, and while I was looking up to price the holder, I came across this. That's right. Somebody got $150 for this. So this plastic holder alone is worth as much as everything else I've shown you in these videos. That is amazing. So I thought that before I send off the system, I'd share this obscure gaming collectible with you. Now you know what to look for when you browse the aisles of your local thrift store. You're welcome! So thanks for watching the episodes, and I'll see you on the next episode of Direct to Disaster. Oh, and for anyone interested in the listing, the link is below. If you're watching this video at a time when the auction is long over, or the item ended way before this video was posted, sorry. Otherwise, buy it, help me out, and own your own piece of gaming history. Bye!